I am going to tell you something today that is going to upset some people, and I have made my peace with that. What you think of as chicken pot pie, that dish with the golden crust on top, the one that comes frozen in a little tin, the one they serve in restaurants with a puff pastry lid, that is not what an Amish chicken pot pie is. It never was. Not here, not in Lancaster County, not in any plain kitchen I have ever set foot in, and I have set foot in a great many. The real Amish pot pie has no crust at all. None. And when I tell people that, they look at me like I have told them the sky is green. But it is the truth, and it is the way my grandmother made it and her mother before her. And I am going to show you today exactly how it is done, the real way, the old way. And I promise you that once you taste it, you will understand why we never bothered with a crust in the first place. Let me explain what happened, because there is a real reason for the confusion, and it is a story about words as much as it is about food. The word we use is pot pie, but when a plain woman in Pennsylvania says pot pie, she does not mean a pie at all. She means something else entirely, something that came over with our people from the old country, from the German-speaking lands generations ago. In the Pennsylvania Dutch tongue, it is called boy, and it is not a baked dish with a crust. It is a soup, a thick, rich, savory soup full of chicken and broth, and most important of all, big soft squares of rolled dough boiled right in the pot. Those dough squares are the pie. That is what the pie means. Not a crust on top, but noodles, thick homemade noodles cooked in the broth until they are tender and slippery and they soak up all that good chicken flavor. When the English speakers heard us say pot pie, they thought we meant the crusted thing they knew. And over the years, the two got tangled up together, and now half the country thinks Amish pot pie has a golden lid on it. It does not. It never did. Today, I am setting the record straight. So let me tell you how to make the real thing. And I am going to start where it always starts, with a chicken. Now, in my grandmother's day, this dish was made with an old hen, a stewing hen, a bird that had given her years of eggs and was past her laying days, tough and lean and full of flavor. You cannot rush an old hen. She has to be simmered long and slow for hours until that tough old meat finally gives up and falls tender off the bone. And in that long simmering, the old hen gives you something a young chicken never could, which is a broth so rich and golden and full of body that it near about turns to jelly when it cools. That broth is the soul of this dish. Everything depends on it. Nowadays, most of you will not have an old stewing hen, and that is all right. You can use a whole chicken from the store, but I will tell you, if you can ever get your hands on a good stewing hen from a farm, from somebody who keeps laying birds, you use it for this and you will taste the difference. It is the difference between a good pot pie and one that people remember for the rest of their lives. You take your chicken whole and you put it in your biggest pot and you cover it with water, cold water, right up over the bird. And into that water, you put your seasoning. And here is where the Amish way is different from what you might expect, because we do not fuss with a lot of herbs and spices. We are plain people and our food is plain food, and it depends on the quality of what goes in, not on a cupboard full of seasonings. So into the pot goes the chicken, the water, a good bit of salt, some pepper, and then just a few vegetables to build the broth. An onion, cut in half, skin and all, because the skin gives the broth a lovely golden color. a few stalks of celery, leaves and all, a couple of carrots. Some folks put in a bay leaf, and you can, though my grandmother rarely did. That is it. That is all the broth needs. You bring it up to a boil, and then you turn it right down low. So it is just barely simmering, just a few bubbles breaking the surface now and then, and you let it go. For a whole chicken, 2 hours, maybe a little more. For an old hen, 3 hours or longer, until the meat is falling off the bone, low and slow. That is the whole secret of the broth. If you boil it hard and fast, you get a cloudy, greasy broth. If you simmer it gentle and patient, you get liquid gold. While that chicken is simmering and filling your whole house with the best smell there is, you are going to make the pot pie squares, the dough, and this is the part that makes it Amish, so pay close attention. The dough is simple, so simple you will not believe it makes something so good. Flour, eggs, a little salt, a splash of the chicken broth, or some water or milk to bring it together. That is all. No leavening, nothing to make it rise. Because these are not biscuits, they are more like a thick homemade noodle, a rolled dough that stays flat and dense and wonderfully chewy. You put your flour in a bowl, make a well in the middle, crack in your eggs, add your pinch of salt, and then work it together with your hands, adding just enough liquid to make a stiff dough. Stiffer than bread dough, firm. You want to be able to roll it out thin without it tearing or sticking too badly. My grandmother used 2 eggs to about 2 cups of flour, and she would judge the liquid by feel, adding a spoonful of broth at a time until it came together into a firm ball. Then she would let it rest, covered for a little while, 20 minutes or so, which relaxes the dough and makes it easier to roll. Now the rolling. You flour your counter or your board or your clean table the way we did, and you roll that dough out thin as you can get it without it tearing. About the thickness of a nickel, my grandmother would say. And then you take a knife and you cut it into squares. Not perfect squares, do not fuss about it, just rough squares about 2 inches across, maybe a little bigger. Some people cut them into diamonds, some into strips. It does not matter much. The shape is not the point. The point is you are making pieces of dough that will boil up soft and tender in the broth. And here is a little thing my grandmother taught me. She would let those cut squares sit out on the floured table for a while before they went into the pot, half an hour if she had the time, to dry just a little on the surface. She said it kept them from turning to mush in the broth, kept them holding their shape and their good chewy texture. It is a small thing, but it is the kind of small thing that separates a pot pie made by someone who knows from a pot pie made by someone following a card. When your chicken is done falling tender, you lift it out of the pot and set it aside to cool enough to handle. And now you have that beautiful pot of golden broth. Taste it, adjust your salt, because the salt is everything. An undersalted broth will make the whole dish taste flat. Some cooks like to add a few more vegetables now, some fresh carrots and celery cut up, and let them cook in the broth until tender. And you can, my family did, though a true old country pot pie is sometimes just the chicken and the dough and nothing else. Do it the way you like. Then you bring that broth up to a good rolling boil, a real boil this time, because you are going to cook the dough squares in it, and they need that hot, bubbling broth to cook through properly. And you drop the squares in one at a time or a few at a time, stirring gently as you go so they do not all stick together in one big lump. They will sink at first, and then as they cook, they will rise up and float. and the broth will turn thick and cloudy and rich as the flour from the dough releases into it. This is what makes the pot pie broth so different from plain chicken soup. That dough thickens the broth into something almost like a gravy, silky and substantial, coating every square and every piece of chicken. You let those squares boil gently for about 20 minutes until they are cooked all the way through, tender, but still with a good chew to them. While the squares are cooking, you pull the meat off your chicken, all of it, the breast and the thighs and every good bit you can find, and you tear it into pieces, not too small. You want good, hearty chunks of chicken in your pot pie. And when the dough squares are tender, you add that chicken back into the pot and you stir it all together, gentle, and you let it warm through. And that right there is Amish chicken pot pie. Chicken, broth thickened by the dough, and those big, soft, tender squares that are the whole heart of the dish. No crust, no baking, no oven at all. Just a pot on the stove and a couple of hours of patience. You ladle it out into bowls, steaming hot, and you will see those squares and that golden chicken in that thick, rich broth. And the first spoonful is going to tell you everything you need to know about why Plain families have been making this exact dish for 200 years and never once felt they were missing a crust. Let me tell you what this dish meant in our home, because it was more than just supper. Pot pie was what my mother made when somebody was sick. When one of us children was down with a fever, or when a neighbor was ailing, out would come the big pot and the chicken and the flour, and pot pie would be made. There is something in a bowl of that thick chicken broth with the soft dough that heals a person, or at least makes them feel cared for, which is sometimes the same thing. It was also what we made when company came unexpected, because one chicken and a bowl of flour could stretch to feed a whole table full of people. That is the genius of it, really. It is humble food, poor food if you want to call it that. A single chicken, some flour and eggs, water, salt, nothing costly. And out of those few plain things, you make a meal that fills a dozen bellies and warms a dozen hearts and costs almost nothing. That is Amish cooking in one pot. Take a little, stretch it far, waste nothing, and make it taste like love. My grandmother made pot pie every single week through the winter. It was a cold weather dish, a dish for the short, dark days when you wanted something hot and heavy that stuck to your ribs and kept you warm through an afternoon of outdoor work. She made it on wash day, often, because it could sit and simmer on the back of the stove while she scrubbed and wrung and hung the laundry, needing only a stir now and then. By the time the wash was on the line, the pot pie was ready, and the whole family would come in from the cold to bowls of it. It was also a dish for gathering, for the times the community came together. When a family lost someone and the whole church came to sit with them in their grief, the women would bring food, and more often than not, there would be a great pot of chicken pot pie among it, because it could be made in a large batch and carried still warm to a grieving home, and it would feed everyone who came. When there was a barn raising and the men worked from dawn spending their strength lifting timbers, the women cooked all morning to feed them at noon, and pot pie was often what they made, ladled out by the dozen bowls to hungry men who had earned every bite. This is a dish woven right into the life of our people, present at the hard times and the working times, always there, always feeding somebody who needed it. That is what makes it more than a recipe. I can close my eyes right now and see my father coming in from the barn, red-faced and stamping the snow off his boots, and my mother handing him a bowl of pot pie before he had even got his coat off. And the look on his face as that first warm spoonful went down, that is a memory worth more to me than gold, and it lives in this dish. Every time I make it, my mother is there. Every time. Now, I want to give you a few things to watch for, the mistakes I have seen people make when they try this for the first time. The first is not simmering the chicken long enough. You cannot rush the broth if your chicken is tough. If the meat does not fall easily off the bone, it needs more time. Be patient. The second mistake is rolling the dough too thick. Thick dough squares come out heavy and doughy in the middle, gummy, and they do not cook through right. Roll them thin as a nickel. The third mistake, and this is the one that breaks my heart, is people being afraid the broth is too thick and adding water to thin it out. Do not. The thickness is the whole point. That silky gravy-like broth is what makes it a pot pie and not a soup. If anything, let it be too thick rather than too thin. And the last mistake is not salting enough. Chicken and flour and water need salt to come alive. Taste as you go and salt until it tastes right, until that broth makes you want another spoonful the moment you have swallowed the first. You can vary this dish once you know the bones of it. Some families make a beef pot pie the very same way, with beef instead of chicken and a rich beef broth, and it is wonderful on the coldest days. Some add a handful of diced potato to the pot to stretch it even further and make it even heartier. Some sprinkle fresh parsley over the top at the end for a bit of color and freshness. My grandmother kept hers plain, always, chicken and dough and broth, but she never minded how anybody else made theirs, so long as they made it with care. The dish can carry those small changes and still be itself. What it cannot carry, what makes it stop being Amish pot pie altogether, is putting a crust on it and baking it in the oven. That makes it a different dish entirely. A fine dish maybe, but not this one, not the one my grandmother made, not the real thing. So this week, I want you to try it. Make the real Amish pot pie the way it has actually been made in plain kitchens for 200 years. Simmer your chicken slow and patient until the broth turns golden. Mix your simple dough of flour and eggs and salt. Roll it thin, cut your squares, and let them dry a little. Boil them up in that rich broth until it turns thick and silky. Stir in your torn chicken and ladle it out hot. And when you take that first bite, I want you to think of all the plain women going back and back through the years who made this exact dish in this exact way with these same few humble things to feed the people they loved through hard winters and lean times. You will be part of that now, part of something old and good and worth keeping. And I do not think you will ever want the crusted kind again. If you would like every recipe I know, all the old dishes my grandmother taught me, the breads and the pot pies and the soups and the pies and the preserves, I have gathered them all together into my kitchen field book, and it is waiting for you just below this video. 100 recipes from Lancaster County, going all the way back to 1720, written down the way I would tell them to you if you were sitting right here at my table. And if you are new to my kitchen, if you have only just found me, then come and sit with me a while. I share these old ways every few days, the food that kept plain families fed and warm and together for longer than anyone can remember. Subscribe, and we will make them together, one at a time. There is always room at my table for one more. Until next time, God bless your hands, God bless your kitchen, and God bless every soul who gathers at your table. Now go and make your pot pie the real way.